this goes for any young entrepreneur out there. Do not be too good for cold outreach, because you never know what it could bring you. I need that. I didn't even know that was possible for me, so therefore I need to go to that person.
You learn about the people that you're coaching, about their lives. You don't just want to say, hey, watch this video, do this, coming back and do a check. You actually want to understand what they're going through, because sometimes people don't want to follow through. So your first haircut was $5.
Oh yeah.
In your mom's bathroom.
Yes.
CEO in motion. CEO in motion. CEO in motion. CEO in motion.
What is up, brother?
Hi. What's up, man? How you doing?
How are you, man?
Good.
I try to move the seat back.
No, that's perfect.
Is this
Thank
the right
you.
thing?
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
perfect.
what's his height?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
we're
I think you're
lit.
my tallest guest here so far, bro.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, bro.
Smells good. You look good, bro.
Thank you.
You good?
Yo, let's
Welcome
do
to
it.
the podcast, bro. We're rolling.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
Let's see. Cameras are already going.
This is a fire setup.
This is the first time I was setting it up, bro.
Oh, really?
So I was like, okay. I was like moving all the pieces, getting the mics hooked up. Like, is it charging? Is it not? It looks like we're moving. It looks like we're going. This looks to be like good. Yeah, we're going, bro.
Already?
The editors would do the thing. This will turn off. Actually, we should start turning on the.
Oh yeah, you got the lights on top too. Oh, it's lit.
Cause then it.
We are in here.
Yeah,
yes,
let's see
sir.
it.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Mics are ready. We're all ready to go.
We're locked in.
Zay, welcome to the CEO in Motion podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Bro, I usually don't have like people that I know well, like or you know, so it's like I'm always excited to see like what's going on. But I mean, I just got my hair did by you, bro.
Yes, sir. You guys see the beard? Yup. The hair.
Yeah, but a lot of people ask me like, "Why do you wear a hat, man? You got nice hair." I was like,
okay.
yeah.
It's all right.
It's part of the branding, but I'll keep it off for right now. You see.
It's funny because every time somebody gets their haircut by me and they put a hat on immediately, they always feel super guilty. And I'm like, man, don't feel guilty. I do the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, I don't do it like right after. And I only wear these like when I'm out and about, like.
Thank you as well,
for the
too.
show. Yeah, you got your drink. So our meetup spot is always at a Starbucks because people like to get a drink. So I started doing these later podcasts because the windshield will be so hot here in Vegas during the summer that the equipment will turn off,
or
malfunction, and so it's all like trial and tribulations and the whole thing. But you've seen me as I try and try new things. So and that's why we're here. The podcast is all about business. It's about the road to success. And so I have the company of InMotion Media Group.
Fantastic company, by the way.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, and I'm always like literally in motion. So I used to do these podcasts which was just like come sit down at the office and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I just like pick people up and we're literally just driving up and down the strip and I get to ask questions about business and about life and what they're doing and here it is. We're on the second season.
Season 2. How many episodes did you have total in season 1?
We did 10.
10? Okay. So it's gonna be 10 a season?
Yeah, it's gonna be 10 episodes a season. We're usually about 4 or 5 episodes ahead. And so introduce yourself to the camera. Let's see if you're still going. Everything is good.
We're all good.
Introduce yourself and tell us your IG handle.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys? I'm Zay. We're on IG, Created by Zay. I live out here in Las Vegas. I am a barber out here as well as a coach. And yeah, we're just sitting here chopping it up with Chava today. I moved out here approximately like 2 years ago. Chava was one of the first people I actually met while doing some cold outreach, looking for new clients, and he's been a fantastic guy. He came in for a haircut, and we just hit it off, and we've been cool ever since. So
I'm so happy to have you here, bro.
My dog.
So we'll get into that story because that's the business part of you that attracted me. Is you're not just a barber, like you have a business and then you're successful at doing it, then you yourself became a coach.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy how that works out. Yeah, just even that's how it even happened, is because I'm initially from California, Ontario, or Rancho Cucamonga, California, and I'd moved out here approximately 2 years ago, and when I did, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I had to build my clientele all over again. I was a pretty popular barber back home, And yeah, when I came out here, I just had to rebuild that clientele out of nowhere, and I was able to do it relatively quickly. And that's what like my mentor had reached out, and he was just like, "Oh shit, like okay,
yeah, it's good.
I see you do that pretty quickly." And then we had talked about me being a coach, and the next thing I know, I'm now coaching other barbers on how to scale up their business. So.
But all over, not just like locally here in Vegas, different states. Do you have people outside of the country?
Yes, many people outside of the country, from
so
Canada to the UK to I've coached people in the Czech Republic to, let me think where else, Norway is another one.
That's
as well.
amazing.
A lot in Australia as well too.
So we'll get into the process of building a business and everything, but you started, so you said you were quite popular in SoCal, like what does that entail for those of us who are not in the barber industry? How many clients is that?
I'll say roughly, if I were to put a number on it, I would say roughly about 200. I was doing anywhere from, I see it like this, I was doing anywhere from 50 to 65 haircuts a week, consistently every week, and I was booked out a month long all year. So,
what price point was that?
this is only at 50 bucks, 50 and 60 bucks.
So is that like around, what is that, 8,000-10,000 a month?
Yeah, 8,000-10,000 pre-tips, and then some, it would fluctuate from 8 to 12 realistically. My best month I made 12, which was actually my last month, and that's what it was such a shock to come out here, because I made 12 right before I had left, and then my first month out here, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was going to be able to have the same like popularity out here immediately. So I moved out here and I only made like a couple $100 my first month, and that's when I was like,
wait, from 12 grand to 200 bucks?
Bro, I want to say it was like 4 something, maybe 5.
But if you were growing, like if you hit that 12K, what made you move knowing that you were gonna start your clientele all over again?
To be honest, I just felt very like complacent, very stagnant. That was due to me not even understanding what I was doing and how to scale a business. I was just like, all right, I'm making the most money that I'd ever made in my life before, because I had tried to work, every job that I could possibly get without a degree, and it wasn't getting me the money I was looking for, roughly 50, 60,000 a year. And I always knew how to cut hair, so I leaned more into that. I started doing that, I ran that up, and then it got to a point where I was like, okay, maybe I'll be happy when I start making money from cutting hair. And then I did that, I started making the money, and I still had that like empty feeling per se, because I was like, okay, I bought a nice car I moved out of my mom's house, like like all the little status symbols,
all the things that started happening.
Yeah, and then I was just like, okay, this is gonna do it. And then I just found myself working 10-hour days every 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and it's like, yeah, the money was good, but I was just burned out at the end of the day. So,
yeah, like 65 haircuts, man, a week, and non-stop, and getting all booked out a month in advance. That's yeah, you need a break. So but most people, this is what tells me about your personality, and why I'm attracted to that type of personality and mindset, is that when people start making good money, they want to stay in it, and they get complacent, and they stay in that circle. But you're like, I made the money, I got the car, I'm making it happen, and you're like, let me just throw in another challenge, let me just start over again and get out of my comfort zone. And that is unusual for people.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's what I started to notice a lot, what was going on around me.
Yeah.
A lot of just people out, like associates, friends, family, all that stuff. I was kind of looking around, and I was like, well, they're all happy with their life, and they're just like, some of them are doing very well, and there's just a sense of complacency. And I was like, I need to get out of this space. And also, I was born and raised in Southern California, so it's like I never moved to a different state or really lived too far. I'd always lived in a 20-mile radius of the hospital I was born. So,
oh wow, bro.
So,
and I mean, your skill is transferable, so you can be anywhere and do your transfer, but the clientele is not, and that is the issue.
Yes.
Like if I'm good at tech, or if I can run social media ads, like I can go here, I can go to Bali, I can go anywhere in the world, and it doesn't affect the business. But for you, that you have a certain number of people that go to you specifically, that does affect it. So what's the ceiling, like, as a barber? Like, most people want to get to where you already were, and then you're like, this is not enough. So what's your next ceiling? What's your next?
So for me, okay, so me personally, it's funny, I was just talking to one of my friends about this. I personally will be, because everybody wants to say like, you know, I want to be rich. Everybody wants the mansions, the private jets, you know, or, you know, whatever, the supercars, so on and so forth. So for me and everything that I want, like in game when I'm 40, 50 and really financially off, I want to make roughly about 50,000 a month. I'll be able to do everything I need to do, making about 50,000 a month. I knew with barbering, I had taken it to 10, 12K a month, right? And I was working like a dog. So I was like, something has to give. I need to figure something out. And then I was just like, I don't even necessarily know how to, when is the proper time to charge more? How do I make more money? So I'm doing other outside things, like I'm creating a clothing brand. I'm creating, yeah, I'm trying to create a product. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And that's what a lot of barbers find themselves doing. But I wasn't realizing once I'm trying to, like for example, my clothing line, I tried to drop merch, or I did drop merch, right? And I didn't realize that now puts me in the space of competing with the Nikes, the Adidas, the, you know,
with corporate brands that will like squash the little guys that are trying to come up. And
because if realistically, let's just say I'm making 10, 12K off of cutting hair, how much am I going to make out of clothes in order to get to my 50? You know what I'm saying?
So even if you're charging $50, let's say simple math, a haircut, and you double that to 100, that 12,000 would go to 24, 20, 25. You know, let's say 25 on an awesome month. That's still half of where you want to get to. So you realize that you can't create more hours, and the market won't pay after a certain limit. Like $100, that's already like a high-end, you know, haircut.
Yeah, facts.
Do some people charge $200?
Oh yeah, I know some people that charge $200 in LA. Shout out to my guy South Bay Chris. He's definitely one of them.
So how long has he been doing it?
He's been cutting hair, I want to say, shoot, it has been at least 10 years, because I remember when I was learning how to cut hair, I would just obviously search it up on YouTube just like the next person. But I would watch a lot of his videos, and for me, that was, shoot, 10, 12 years ago when I first started.
Do you know this guy in person? Like,
yeah, it's crazy because the mentorship program I joined, he was also one of the first people in that mentorship program.
So he learned from it.
Yes, exactly. So like when it came to like us doing meetups and stuff like that, I ended up, you know, running into him, and then we actually talked, and he's a really cool guy.
Oh, that's pretty incredible. I mean, $200, that must be like a high end. Is that he owns his own business, or does he work at a place? And...
No, he does it out of, believe it or not, he was charging $200 working out of his mother's garage in Los Angeles. He's now in a suite. But yeah, it's with cutting hair, it's more of like a supply and demand. So you can, after you reach a certain volume, you have to go up in order to drop off, like, let's just say 20% of your clientele. But the real,
to get more higher paying customers. Yeah,
but the real skill in scaling up a barber business is your ability to attract new clients. Because it's like, you could raise your prices, but if people, you know, people drop off and you lose, let's say 20% of clientele, unless you're able to pull in that new,
fill it.
Yeah, unless you're able to pull in that new, the new clients at that new price point, you kind of just shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so that's interesting. So that's going full circle how you and I met. So talk about how you actually reached out to me and how we met.
And it's funny because it was a strategy that I started even like implementing in my own coaching. And it was this thing called, I just call it guerrilla marketing, right? But it's really just cold outreach. So what I did for Chava is I was just looking, you know, on Instagram, and I had searched up different places, whether it was Summerlin or Henderson or the MGM or whatever it is, right? And I would look at the people who tagged the posts, and then from then I would see like, hey, or do they look like my ideal clientele, somebody I'd be able to cut? And then from then I would find profiles.
Did you find a picture of me with messy hair and you're like, this guy needs help? I
want to say you probably tagged like Summerlin or something like that, and I just sent everybody a message like, hey, I'm a new barber to the Las Vegas area. I specialize in haircuts just like yours. If you're ever in need of, you know, one of my services, or ever in need of a cut, I got you.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, and I think just the timing worked everything. Because I've been bouncing around from barbers. I was very happy with my barber back in LA. I've been in Vegas for 3 years, so that first year, we've known each other for maybe 2 years. That first year, I was bouncing around, and I tried these like men's, you know, Summerlin, expensive haircuts where they rub your feet and the whole shit. And then the experience is really nice, but I didn't get the actual haircut that I wanted, and so I kept trying different things and different people, and then I moved to this office space, and the office space had, you know, a tanning bed, but also a massage, and then also a barber like sort of area. And then I was like, hey, if you're willing to come out here to the office and do the haircut, and you showed up so professionally with like all your stuff and
thank you, man.
and everything, and from the very first time, like we just hit it off.
Yep.
And then I remember I was like, you know, if you know, there's a lot of people in this office, like there's a lot of people in this building that could probably use your services. So then I convinced the manager at the time. I was like, hey, maybe like, was it once a month that you would come in?
Yeah, I think it was like once a month, twice a month, something
either
like that,
once a month, and then we probably grew it to like twice a month, where you actually had your own flyer, and they would send out an email blast, and they'd be like, hey, you know, and I would be like, you know, this is my bar. But back then you were Cuts by Zay.
Yeah, I was Cuts by Zay, and it's funny because going into coaching, I always knew. So for me, I don't want to cut. I know I'm not going to cut hair forever, right? In order to get to that 50, it's going to be something outside of cutting hair. This could just be a vehicle to get to that. But I knew that. So going into coaching, right, and going into coaching, I don't want to always just be known as Cuts by Zay.
Got it.
That would just associate.
It just cuts you into one little thing, like
boxes me into one thing. Yep. So I was just like, Created by Zay could be anything.
I like that.
I could create. Let's say I could create a drink. I can create, you know, a haircut. I can create shoes. A
clothing line.
Clothing line, mentorship group, whatever it is, right? So that's why I did that. But it's funny that you were even talking about this, because even with that cold outreach, you were like the first. I even debated DMing you, shooting you a DM, because you had a lot of followers. It was intimidating because, you know, when you're doing cold outreach, you want to be realistic, right?
Right, who you're going after.
Yeah, so you're thinking people with anything upwards of 20,000 followers are not even going to respond. I believe you had like 50 or 80 at the time, so I was like, he's probably not going to respond. But I was like, fuck it, why not? You know.
And a lot of the messages now get filtered on Instagram, where I have not read messages that are months old, even from people that I actually do know. They just get lost in the mix, and there's nothing personal, and I'm not that big on the info, so I don't know how people do it with mailing signs. I think they must have their own management team,
for sure.
But I don't. I try to at least keep my personal account on Instagram so that I can actually review it and read it. I don't usually post anymore as much on my personal account. Someone in my team does it for me, but at least I control, you know, what goes in and what goes out on the messages. And I found your stuff, and I actually watched your videos. Like I was like, well, you know, let me see what you got. Yes, I mean, I'm not gonna just get like a person, but you also had like a social media, and you were moving, and for me, like it's more like he took the time to reach out and send a message and offer value without asking anything in return. I think that's the best thing. That's the key to a lot of business. Like, you offer value, and then, you know, you get in return. And yeah.
This goes for any young entrepreneur out there. Do not be too good for cold outreach, because you never know what it could bring you. And just like Chapa was saying, just lead with giving value first, because you never know who you're going to run into. Like, I was able to run into Chapa, right? I didn't even think he was going to respond, first and foremost, and he responded super quickly, actually. It might have even been the next day, who cares, right? But we ended up doing it, and you see how it transpired. Like, I was able to, you helped me get at least 10, 15, maybe 20 even new clients just off of that. So this one person that I hesitated even DMing, look what it turned into, and he's just giving me so much opportunity, because now I'm even able to be on your platform and share my story.
Cheers to that. Hey guys, if you guys are watching this, if you're in Las Vegas, my man, are you taking clients right now?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are? Because I also know, like, you know, and then all of a sudden, you can't take people.
Again, sorry, at Created by Zay. The link is in my bio, or just shoot me a DM. Whatever it is, I got you. Yeah, and Gabby, your handle will be down here at all times. Gotcha. You know, I learned that because from podcasts, like, I know the person who's doing the podcast, but then sometimes I don't know the guest, and then I was like, oh, I didn't listen to the beginning, and they just said something very interesting. I was like, who the hell is this person? And I have to, you know, go back or run. So on our podcast, the handle is always down there. Nice. It's always down there. Like, you can't ever miss it. So it would always be there. And so that is an example where you reach out, you get something in value, you get something in return. But I from what I remember, like, our first time, it was more like a questionnaire, because I was like, you know, getting my haircut, and I think JC was filming, and I was posting it on your behalf, or giving you a shout out. But it was more like, how'd you start? And I was just like,
I was excited and interested to learn about the industry, but like more you as a person about building a brand. You're like, I'm building this brand, I'm building this business, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and that's really what interests me. Like, it doesn't matter what people are doing. Like, if they're building a business out of it, that's really what matters, right? At certain point, like your friend who charges $200 or something, I'm not sure if he's 4 times better barber than you are. You know?
Yeah.
He may be better, but 4 times better.
To be honest,
I don't know.
With barbering, it's just like I said, just a matter of supply and demand.
It's marketing yourself for the brand, right? For people like wanting to get that haircut with the specific person.
Yes, it's just marketing is a key component to, or it's really everything when it comes to just acquiring new clients, because it's like that's how, you know, that's how you're going to bring in people. That's how you're going to, your videos are going to be so important, because that's what's going to keep people's attention and want, it's going to create that desire within people to want to know who you are, and then even build that anticipation of, I got to get a haircut by this guy. He was able to convey in this video how he solves the problem of, you know, fixing someone's head shape or haircut to their head shape. You know what I'm saying?
So yours are actually like educational.
Yes.
So when you go to his profile, you will see that he's talking about what the issue is. Like, so if someone has like a bald spot, or I don't know, you can explain better, the head shape is weird, or they have patches, or like, you explain how to solve that problem for that specific type of clientele. And those videos do really well, and you actually do close, you know, really close videos and really good production, and then you give like the end result. Here's the before and here's the after.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really all it is. That because a lot of people don't even think. A lot of people have struggles with their hair, right? Whether it is the texture of it, whatever it is, the shape, whatever. But they don't necessarily know that fixing it is even an option. So if you as a barber are able to convey that, yo, this is what I know how to do with my skill set, whether it is styling or a fading technique or whatever it is, preserving, you know, make it look like someone's hair or beard is more full, and you're able to like properly convey that, there's gonna be so many people in your area, wherever you are in the world, where they're gonna see that and be like, yo, I need that. I didn't even know that was possible for me, so therefore I need to go to that person wherever they are, and they're going to pay whatever it is.
How did you start with cutting hair?
Oh, I actually started, it was a lie. I started,
a lie?
A lie. So my best friend and I, me and my best friend, when we were about like 15, 16, we were just hanging around his house like a normal summer day, and he just randomly asked me, he was like, hey, do you know how to cut hair? And I was like, I don't know what even made me lie, but I was like, yeah, I can cut hair. And it's crazy, he should have known, because we've been best friends since we were in kindergarten. Like,
yeah, and you're 16. It's not like, hey, you know, what you've been up to, you're there in school, or you're with me.
If I knew how to cut hair, you would know. We hang out every day.
Yeah.
I said yes, and he was like, all right, cool. And so he just sprints out of his room, and I'm looking confused, like, what is going on? And he comes back in with a full set of clippers. And he was like, he didn't really give me an option, but he was like, yo, I got a date right now, and I'm gonna just jump in the shower real quick, and then once I get out, just, you know, give me a quick little cleanup. And I was like, okay. Like, all right,
oh,
bro.
So you got my man ready for the date.
Yeah, so, but the thing is I had never cut anybody's hair ever in my life. So Chapa, I'm scared. I'm super scared. And I had to, like, you know, I'm searching up on YouTube, like, how to fade, how to taper, like what, everything to do while he's in the shower. And even when he got out the shower, I had my phone on the side, like, looking, I'm watching a tutorial while
Was he not suspectful that you were like, okay, this guy's watching a YouTube video while cutting my hair?
He was just locked. I think he was playing like a video game on his phone, but he was just locked into that right there. So I cut his hair, it turned out decent, and then he ended up giving me the pair of clippers, and he started going around our school telling everybody I cut hair.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it was actually something I ran from
so literally his word of mouth saying, hey, this guy cut my hair, and the date must have gone well, bro.
And the thing is like, I was friends with a lot of people, so they're like, oh, you cut hair? I'd be willing to get a haircut by you. Why not? We're in high school, we don't really care like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Were you charging in high school?
No, I was just, I didn't even have clippers, Chapa. I didn't have clippers, I didn't have a barber chair. I was just like, I guess I cut hair now. So I have the clippers that he now gave me.
Yeah.
I had to now start getting stuff, and I'm cutting hair in my mom's bathroom, like on the toilet, and I'm like, okay. First couple of haircuts were free, and then I was like, I gotta charge something. And I was like, all right, $5. and then from $5 it went to $7, so
Did
on
you?
and so forth. Yeah.
So your first haircut was $5.
Oh yeah.
In your mom's bathroom.
Yes. 100%. 100%. I remember it was hot. It was super hot in Southern California. Like the AC wasn't really hitting like it should have in the bathroom. I'm cutting hair. The guy sitting on a it was either the toilet seat or like the kitchen, you know, the chairs from the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And it was just.
And your mom was like, "When did you learn how to cut hair? Like, because you're a teenager."
I was just like.
And your mom's like, just random people are coming up and you're cutting their hair.
To be honest, yeah.
Is it just men or did you cut women's hair?
Just men.
Have you ever cut women's hair?
You
can lie right now and say,
no,
I did.
No, I have.
Cutting hair.
I have before. It's definitely not something I'm super talented at. I would say I could get the job done, but it's not gonna be like, you know, your average stylist. But yeah, it's actually crazy how I started cutting hair, and then I didn't want to do it for a long time because I was thinking like, Eric, like you can't make that much money as a barber. I never actually did that.
Well, you were doing $5 a haircut.
You know.
So were you starting getting like one haircut a week, or then later started getting to like one haircut every, you know, 2-3 days in high school? Like when did it start moving the needle?
To be honest, I kept it. I was actually denying a lot of people in high school.
Oh, you were getting that many requests?
Well, I was denying people because it was just like one person a week, right?
Yeah.
And like, cause I'm focused on school. I'm a junior, and then by the time we had graduated, so it was probably like 5-10 people that knew. And by the time I graduated, they just kept asking me. And one day I was just like, all right, whatever, I'll just do it. I need some extra money anyway. I'm 18 now, freshly graduated. So I had a couple people come through when I really started when I was like 18, freshly out of high school. And it just kept like, the word of mouth was just, it kept building up over some years because I didn't want to do it. I wasn't advertising. I didn't have an Instagram. I wasn't posting anybody's.
So this is just
haircuts.
Referrals.
Exactly, strictly off referrals. And it got to a point where I had a lot of friends come to my house anyway because I had like a cool. I ended up moving my operation down to the garage. I had like the couch in the garage, the TV, the PlayStation,
like little man cave.
Yeah, exactly.
Down there.
And then I just
guys hung out with you.
Yeah, I threw a barber chair in there. So now I have all my friends coming over. We're playing 2K, Madden tournaments. You know, guys are getting haircuts, stuff like that. So
that was that, and then so you got the cool hangout spot. When did you start your Instagram?
2018. I remember. It's crazy because it's right after I came back from out here. I took a trip to Vegas, and it got to a point where so many people were just like hitting me up. I was like, all right, I'm a part-time barber in my garage, so I was like, whatever. I may as well.
What were you charging then?
I want to say $10.
Oh, okay, so still like very affordable.
At most, it was 20. At most. And more people were coming, but I was just like, barbers don't make money. I was so fixated on barbers can't make money.
That's a mindset issue.
Yeah, 100%. I was.
Anyone can make money if you do it right.
But the thing is I never had anybody in my family that really was like a business owner. So I'm not thinking, the people in my family that had money had good jobs. So I'm thinking the only way for me to get money is to have a good job.
Like an education, the traditional.
And even if it wasn't like a bachelor's or a master's or a PhD, maybe like, I could work for the city.
Got it.
You know, something like that.
A job.
Or I was actually stuck on, I was going to be a police officer, actually. That was my initial plan. And it got to a point where I kept going out. I'm trying all these different jobs. I worked.
Oh, did you?
Oh, what?
What'd you try?
Chava, I worked damn near every job.
What did you try?
I've worked damn near every job you could think of without a college degree. I worked at warehouses. I worked in security. I worked warehouses. I worked security. I worked retail. I've never actually worked in the food industry.
It's a tough one.
Where else have I worked?
Did you do anything like Magic Mike right here? Like
no, never. No, never that wild. I will say the one thing I remember, I was in a job interview, or I just got done with a job interview, and it was for Orkin, the pesticide company.
Yep.
And I had just applied to be an exterminator, strictly for the money. And I just remember leaving.
You made good money?
It was like $25-30 an hour.
Yeah, that is good money.
I was like, yeah, I could do that. I was like, hell yeah. So I just remember leaving because they had asked me in the interview, are you comfortable with crawling in like tight spaces and attics, basements, so on and so forth?
Yeah,
and I said yes,
guy,
but really I'm not. I'm 6'8", 230 pounds. I can't do that. But I said yes because I wanted the money. And I just remember driving home and I was like, what am I doing? I was like, what? Like, I can't keep. I was like, what am I doing? Something's got to give. I can't keep.
I can't crawl through these tight places.
Yeah,
I'm 6'8".
Yeah, and I was
my
just,
ass stuck in there.
I was more mad
with
like
the wraps
yeah.
and shit. No.
Every time I found myself at a job I knew I didn't like, I was just like, why am I here? Like, I'm just like literally wasting my time.
But at that time, you were still doing part-time cutting hair, right? Like,
yes, for whoever would hit me up. I'm not posting anything.
So you were still doing it, but you're not convinced enough that this could be, you know, a career or a life choice or whatever, make you money, so that you're still trying out these different things. But
you know what convinced me?
What's that?
I had gotten into a car accident and I didn't have a car for like 6 months, and in that same time I was able to make the same amount of money cutting hair. Like the same money I was making from my job, I just made myself more available to cut hair, and I made that money cutting hair.
And then you're like, oh, I can supplement
I was like,
the
what?
income by
I know,
hair.
I was hard-headed. I didn't want to listen. So
to the evidence.
Yes. So I went, and that had happened a couple times. Not for a 6 month span, but sometimes maybe a month or two or whatever it was.
Is it because your family didn't approve it? Like, what was it that was like clearly, obviously working and something that you are talented with?
To me, I was like, barbers don't make money.
So that was like
it was
what we call like a core belief.
Yeah.
And that you perfectly summarized it. Like, barbers don't make money, and that core belief, despite the fact that you're literally making money, that supplementing your job, you're still like, barbers don't make money. And that core belief needs to be removed, you know, at a subconscious level, or it will always be stuck there. And so, at what point was the pivot? I love this sign, by the way.
Same.
This is so cool.
Yeah, this is crazy.
At what point was the pivot where you said barbers can't make money?
To be honest, what was the pivot? To be honest, when I started making money, because the way I even started cutting hair professionally, I'm cutting hair out of my garage, right? And I'm still working a job. My last job I had worked at, I had randomly got fired. And I just remember driving home being super stressed out, right? I was like, damn, what am I gonna do now?
Was that the warehouse?
Yeah, it was, yeah, I had worked at, no, it was Costco. I had worked at Costco.
Oh, okay.
And I had just got fired after like, what, 2 months? And I was doing everything right. So I was confused, but I was on my drive home. I was stressed out, and that same friend, my best friend, the one I told you about, I cut his hair for the first time.
Yeah.
He had called me, and I was like, I didn't even want to answer, to be honest. But I was like, yo, and he was just like, what are you doing? And I was like, just driving, bro. And he was just like, well, he said, I'm with my barber right now, and I was telling him about you and I was actually kind of mad at him because because I started cutting his hair. I had only cut his hair, right? Like,
and
I was
now
the only
he's going
person,
to a different barber.
He just randomly went to a different guy that he was with his other friend one day, and they went to the barber shop, and he got a haircut and started getting his cut by him. But yeah, he had called me, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm talking to my barber right now, and I was telling him about you, and he was telling me that that he's looking for like an apprentice or somebody to, like, you know, train up and get into school and all that good stuff. And he said he wants to talk to you, and I'm sitting here like, what? And I'm like, you're lying. And he's in the barbershop right now. And I talked to the guy, shout out to my Uncle Joe, and he was like, yeah, man. He was telling me about it, and he's like, I just want, you know, I'm looking to expand, and you know, Ronnie tells me about you, and he says, I looked at your work, you're really talented, so on and so forth, I want to talk to you. And he's like, when would you be available? I'm driving up the street his barbershop was on after getting fired. So I'm sitting here like, I was like, fuck it, right now. Yeah, I had pulled up.
Awesome.
I had pulled up, and I was just like, and we had talked about it, and, you know, it seemed to be a good fit, and 2 weeks later, I'm now working in a barbershop.
So you were working at a barbershop, and that was sort of like the pivoting moment. Yes.
Well, the pivoting moment is I started working at the barbershop. I enrolled in school, and then I want to say that was in 2019. Then the pandemic hit. Hit, and a lot of barbers started canceling on people. It was a combination of the pandemic, and I had already had like a 8 months of build up being in this shop full time now. So a combination of both is what, you know, created an influx of clientele. I started making some money, and I was just like, oh, barbers
This
can make
happen.
money. I was
Yeah,
like,
there it is.
oh.
Do you remember your first $50 haircut? Like, were you nervous to go up to that level?
To be honest, no, because I had only went up because I literally going from $30 to $50. I had only every increase I had from $30 to $50 was due to.
That's a big jump. That's almost double.
No, I didn't go. I went from 30 to I think like 35 to 40 to 50.
Got it. Okay,
Right.
that makes more sense.
But the only reason why I did that, the only reason why I was even going up in prices is because I could not like deal with the I was cutting like 10-12 people a day, and more people kept hitting me up, and these are close friends that I'm telling, oh yeah man, I'll cut your hair, and I'm just too busy, so I had no choice but to do it, but I didn't know what I was doing. So that's
So now let's get into the business coaching. So
yeah.
you reached out to me because you were in a coaching program. What do they teach you, and what do you teach as a coach?
So they just teach you how to scale your business in entirety, how to scale your business in entirety, from all bases covered, from how to create content, to understanding when to raise your prices, to how to convert clients off of getting good traction on your social media, to absolutely everything you could possibly think of. Well, that's what the entire program does as a whole. What I do is, when you join the program for the first 90 days, I will I walk you through the program. I show you exactly what modules to watch. I give you the basics of creating content. I critique all your content. I tell you when it's a proper time for you to raise prices if that's where you're at, and I just give you like life advice. I get to the nitty-gritty, Chava.
So that's what I wanted to talk about. So you also discussing these, and because I've asked you these questions when I'm on the chair, you learn about the people that you're coaching, about their lives. You don't just want to say, hey, watch this video, do this, coming back and do a check. You actually want to understand what they're going through, because sometimes people don't want to follow through. And sometimes they make a big investment into being part of this coaching program, and they themselves are afraid. They themselves have these limiting beliefs, just like you had a limiting belief. And you have to like dig deep and remove that, So that's what I like about this, about you and the program and the coaching, that it's not just the business side, it's not just like social media, it's more like, a complete package.
Yes, 100%. And that's why I love my job personally, because it's an opportunity for me to, because that's my purpose. My purpose is just to not only help people, but just to get more in depth, just to give people opportunity that they don't think is even possible for them, because that's what has happened for me in my life, and that's changed my life. So what I do is I shift their perspective. So if someone is, let's just say they're having a hard time staying consistent, I'm not just gonna say, okay, I need to know why. Is it something at home? Is it something with, a significant other? Is it like a mental block? Is it an insecurity? Whatever it is, and I get to like the root of that, and then I just give you my life advice, just even outside of barbering, just like almost as like an older friend or brother type of figure, on what to do in order to like navigate through their current issue.
How do you manage all the different time zones and everybody's situations? Because right now, how many people are you coaching?
30, 40, nothing crazy.
So, I mean, that sounds like, quite a bit of people to keep things together in your head. How do you manage the different time zones? Like, how do you keep yourself structured?
Google Calendar, shout out to Google Calendar. Definitely a lot of notes. Fathom Note Taker is a lifesaver. Just to be honest, just a lot of tracking. Like every time I have a touch point with them, I would just like log it. I log what we discuss. I will log what, I give them homework assignments. I record all meetings too, so that's another thing.
But do you have like recurrent meeting times?
Yes.
With them, so they have to meet those, and if they don't show up, they don't show up.
Yes.
Well, so you kind of have those.
And on top of that, like, we're talking damn near every day, because I'm giving you feedback on your content that you're constantly sending me.
Do you meet as a group, or do you meet one-on-one with these people?
Both. So I host 2 Q&A calls per week, where anybody that I currently coach or anybody in the school group can come onto the Q&A call, and I could review content, or we could just discuss something. I have a one-on-one call with all of my people every week, as well as just to the texting back and forth, reviewing content and asking questions and stuff.
So when I go to your place now, you're always watching content. Like you have your studio. It almost looks like a photo setup with the lights and everything, but it's got the TV, and you're always watching content, whether it's Hermosi or whether it's Mr. Beast, or there's always something that you're learning. Like, what prompted that?
Brainwashing myself, because to be honest, I had crazy imposter syndrome when I first became a coach. I was afraid when I first became a coach, because I was like, because the program or the company I work for, like, they advertise will help you get to $15,000 to $20,000 a month, charging upwards of $150 and $200, and I was like, I've never charged no $150, $200.
Yeah.
I made 12. I've never made 15, 20, right? So I was just like, and I could be coaching I could be coaching somebody that's already making 12,000, and I need to scale them up to 20,000. Right?
Got it. So there could be some people that are already making more money than you were making. And did they ever ask you those questions, like, how are you gonna teach me this? Like, what's your response to that?
No, because that imposter syndrome drove me to just educating, like just brainwashing myself and just obsessing over understanding like the process and how to scale, because I was so in fear of that. So by the time I even started onboarding people and coaching people, I already knew what I was doing. So
there's something that I learned from you, and I like it. Like whenever I would go in, you'd have this whiteboard that says question of the day. Yeah. Where'd you find that?
I just thought of that because for me, I just always wanted to I like picking people's brains. So I want to know what people are thinking. I love different perspectives. Like I love to chat and just hear, just a different perspective. So most of my questions of the day would make you really think, because not in an everyday setting, we don't really get asked a question that really makes us think. Like one of my questions,
they're deep questions. Is there one that you remember?
Like one of my questions is, if you were to run into your 13-year-old self right now on the street and you could tell them something in 2 sentences, what would you tell them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those are questions that require a little bit extra thought.
Yeah, because you only have 2 sentences.
Yeah.
If I were to say anything, right? No limit. People will say, the traditional, stay in school, save your money. And I wasn't trying to hear that. I want to see what the best life advice you have.
Bro, something always happens at the CEO InMotion podcast.
I would want to see, like, what's your best life advice for where you currently are in your journey, because that answer is going to change at 25, 45, 65, and so on and so forth. Like, your answer right now to that question is not going to be your answer in 20 years.
And it definitely was not going to be the answer, 10 years ago.
So.
Because all the experience, it does change. Do you have an answer for your 13-year-old self?
Commit to something. Commit to something, because oftentimes my biggest issue, and I could have made the money that I wanted to make if I would have just committed to something early. Because I notice a lot of people, including myself, will have good ideas, but you don't commit to it. You might start it for about 3 months, a year, whatever it is, and then you just quit and go to the next thing, right? And that's how all successful businesses, all successful athletes, like, that's how that is made. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody starts off hot and stays consistently hot. There's going to be highs and lows, but you have to weather the storm and constantly improve and make those iterations. And with me, I would just, let's say something wouldn't work, something just wouldn't work, I'd be like, all right, on to the next thing, right? Or I would just try and be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. So.
Yeah, I think having a specific goal and working hard at it, because I think right now people, and I'm not just being that, but I think people now, they just think that they are owed success, they are owed extra payment, that steamy check, they are owed stuff. Oh, I'm not gonna work. I'm like, and it's a completely different mindset. Where I was like before, the mindset was like, I am not worthy of that, but I am going to become worthy of it. And now it's like, oh no, look at me, and I think the reason is because social media has given birth to many multi-millionaires
Yeah,
who are under the age
overnight.
of 20.
Yeah, and it's just, we feel like that, and on top of that, like, we always see everybody's highlights on social media.
Yeah,
Meaning
only the good stuff.
yeah, so like if you scroll on your explore page, you're gonna find something that might say like, yo, I was able to go from $0 to $100,000 a year in 6 months. Or, and that's everybody's, even all entrepreneurs in the coaching space, that's their selling point. Will help you get this huge, you know, result in this short period of time. So everybody feels like that is a possibility for them too, but they don't talk about the work that is put in behind it. Like, yes, you might have made a jump from 5K months to 20K months in 3 months, but you didn't talk about you were at 5K months for 3 years.
Yeah, the issues, the problems.
You know what I'm saying?
That's actually, and maybe by the time this airs, I'll make public this stuff, but I've always seen that, you know, people that speak on stages or people that go on conferences, they always say, this is where I am now, this is what I did, you know, in the last 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. But I've never seen someone that gets on the stage and be like, this is where I am now, this is where I'll be in 5 years. You guys gotta come on the journey with me. And that's my next venture. That's my next venture where I built a multi-million-dollar company in the last 5 years, and now I can talk about that, and I feel like I'm those people, like, okay, let me show you how I went from $7 to 7 figures.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, but what if I now set myself an even bigger goal? Hey, my next goal is, you know, $100 million, and I'm giving myself 3 years to do it. Who wants to come on the journey with me?
And people
like,
love that.
That is different. That is like, oh shit, this guy hasn't achieved that $100 million, and he's saying he's going to do it. Like, I want to watch that journey, and I want to take people through the struggles, the fears, the problems. Like I don't know what it takes to build a $100 million company. Yeah. But I'm going to find out in the next, you know, 3 years, and I want to take people through that journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have an automatic marketing mindset, and I love it, because that is one thing that I teach to people I coach, is when it comes to content, I tell them to advertise that, because that's a great marketing piece. This is my journey to this is me vlog. You always see the videos. This is me vlogging every day until I get 100,000 followers. Or this is my challenge to myself, is I'm gonna buy a house in the next, you know, 6 months, or some big accolade that they're striving to get. Because, and it's always gonna be a good marketing piece that everybody's going to want to watch, because everyone loves an underdog story.
And you become part of the journey.
Yeah.
So by the time this airs, probably my most important video will come out. Yeah. Which you know, I've been working on this thing for several months, and this is why I've been off social media probably for the last 3 months. And it just so happens that today I made an announcement. I was like, in 10 days I'm making the reveal, and so this will probably, by the time this airs, it'll be out. So that's why I'm telling you this, and I can comfortably say it. But I am like excited, at the same time I'm nervous, and I want to be part of, I want to take the audience to the writing of the story, and not take the audience to like, this is how the story was written, you know, not tell them of how I did it, but like, join me in doing this together, kind of thing. Yes. And I think that draws in more people, and that creates more of your brand, and that creates more of an opportunity for you to, you know, to coach people. Like, okay, let me show you guys how, you know, I started cutting hair, or I'm cutting hair at $20. Let me show you how my journey to $100 haircut. You know, come with me.
Yes. And that's, and for you, like, even just doing something like that, first, what platform are you gonna use? Do you have that in mind already?
Yeah, so
is it school?
No, but okay. I you did mention to me about school, so I want to be using Patreon.
Oh, okay, nice.
And because Patreon, you can the videos can live there, and there's different stats, like you can charge monthly, or you can do like a yearly after a while. So it's definitely gonna be gated content, like paywall gated content.
Well, would it be like you would have different? So I get the gate content, but would it be, how do I phrase this? Like, you would have different price points for the same group, right? So some people might have monthly access, some people might have yearly access with different price points, or you would just have one entry fee?
it'll
one
be
membership fee.
the way I've structured it. And actually, I
Yeah.
wrote this out on a napkin. Like, have you seen the story of Southwest? How it started? Obviously, Southwest Airlines is one of the biggest ones. He wrote on a piece of napkin 3 cities, and it was like, I don't want to get this wrong, but it was like, let's say Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, whatever. It was like a triangle, and that is what became. Is like, you know, I just need like an airline that does these 3 cities.
Yeah.
And he wrote it on a napkin, and like the story now, it goes like, you know, dreams can start on a napkin. And I remember I was like, I was reading that story, and then I wrote this on a napkin myself. In fact, the napkin is sitting, bro. Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah.
I don't want to get this wrong.
Yes.
I haven't brought this out in public, but you can see it.
Yeah.
But here's, I'll just show the city.
That's fire.
Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. There it is.
Yes.
So I'll show you what it shows to the taking care of you since we were born on a napkin. And that was his idea. So let me see if I can
greatness.
show. So Dallas, San Antonio. So he wrote on a napkin, and you can see it on the back of my napkin. I have the 3 price points of how I was thinking this. So it was like a $10 subscription because I'm giving myself 3 years, 36 months to get to $100 million in a company.
Okay.
And I said, and if I don't make it, and you guys come on the journey with me for those 36 months, I will personally refund 100% of that money to you.
Oh shit.
So I am holding my.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
I know.
Yeah,
that takes balls, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I am holding myself accountable to the fact that I'm gonna be doing this. And so, going back to the price point question, I was like, so $10 a month. You know what? 99% of people who follow me can probably afford $10 a month.
Yes, 100%.
And if you're with me on the journey, if you bet on me, like I am entrusting in that I'm going to show you everything that I'm going through to build this company. And if for 36 months I don't grow this company to $100 million, I will refund you personally that money that you invested in me.
How many memberships would that be to make that?
So I need to put a caption. So this is probably what the reveal is. So I don't want to get too much into it. But the second thing would be like, okay, maybe people don't want to do, you know, because $10 times 36 months is $360. So then I was like, okay, I'll do a second tier where it'll be like 3 payments of $99. So if you pay by year, you're essentially paying, you know, $300. Or if you're all in with me from the beginning and you think I'm your guy, 1 payment of $250, and that's what's on my napkin. So I wrote the three payment structures like as I was thinking on the plane about this idea, and this is like months ago, and it's been sitting in my desk. And you're actually the first person that I spoken to publicly, but I recorded this video months ago, bro. Months ago. Like this already been filmed, but I've never released it, and it's coming out in 10 days.
I like that. I like
But
it.
I'm actually talking to the camera.
I love it.
And so the idea is, you know, what does content do? Like, what do people do now, you know, to bring the client along the journey, you know? And I think that's something that you need to figure out as you're building your own brand, and you're shifting from Cuts by Zay to Created by Zay. You're gonna have your what is called your raving fans. Right, you're gonna have your people that, you know what, I'm also gonna buy the clothing that this guy has.
So whatever.
I'm gonna go, if you come up with your own freaking
hair
clippers, hair products,
whatever it is,
that's my guy. You know.
And it's funny because I had to keep that in mind. That's why I went with it was Created by Zay, because I had to still go with the C, because my logo is a CBZ.
CBZ.
And I knew that moving forward, I was like, well, shoot, I think got
it's in your car, bro. I've seen it
on my necklace. So
yeah, you can't mess with that. And Created is perfect. It's a perfect transition. I think it shows the maturity of you as a person, as a business, as a brand. If you are here now, like you already mentioned, you want to be, you know, at 50K. What do you want to do with that money? Like, that covers so much. Like most people can't even spend 50K a month.
So create opportunity. So that's so for when I say opportunity, I mean almost like a handout, not really a handout.
Yeah.
So like for example,
you want to have a family? Do you want to create
yes,
a legacy? You want to have help your parents?
Yes, family, help my parents. That's gonna. I probably would only need like 20K a month to do all that and still take care of my family.
You want to get your dad a new ride, like something like that.
Yes, but more from a perspective of, let's just say I'm talking to a 19-year-old little cousin at a family reunion, and they want to do
about that.
You know, and they want to do something like. They're like, yo, I'm working at McDonald's right now, or I'm doing X, Y, and Z. You know, a lot of kids don't have a plan. They don't have that college education. They don't know what to do in life, right? They're going to be in the same position I was, of just trying to work any and every job just to make ends meet, or just to make something of themselves. So let's just say I run into a cousin like that at a family reunion. I want to be able to say, hey man, would you ever think about cutting hair, right? If they're
mentoring, I think it's
not
in
even,
you.
But yes, not only that, but this is where the money comes in, because it's like, let's just say hypothetically I have a good conversation with them, or somebody on the street. They're like, yes, I'm all in, I want to do this. I just would obviously have to buy the clippers, equipment, all that other stuff. That's when I would, let's say, spend $3,000, get them completely hooked up on absolutely every clipper, chair, all that. It just to
set them up.
Yeah, to have the means to give them that opportunity that they might not have, because a lot of people might think, or they might want to do that, but they don't make the money from, let's say they work McDonald's or whatever they have, to where they can't afford that. So therefore that might discourage them, or they're just like, what's the
people
point?
are living paycheck to paycheck and they don't want to try new things. So sometimes they just need like a little push,
just to take the chance
over, just push them over, and then they'll start gaining momentum. And then they blossom. And I like that you're family. So speaking of family, like, can we talk a little bit about Nashville?
Oh man, so I just went on a family reunion to Nashville, or I went on a family reunion in Nashville a few weeks ago. It was extremely lit. I had what?
How many people show up?
100 to 200. It was a lot of people, a lot of cousins, aunties, uncles I've never met before. It was a fantastic time. If you guys have ever seen a Tyler Perry movie, I often, people tell me my family's like a Tyler Perry movie because we do all the dances.
Bro, I was watching
the fish
videos.
Fries,
you're doing the games, you're doing the experience.
We got the cowboy boots. We got the dancing,
matching shirts.
Yep. We all go out together at night. Me and all my cousins that are around my age, we all just go out and party.
I love that, man. I love that. Absolutely loved it when you showed me. And I mean, I saw 53 on the shirt, so I don't know if you guys have been doing this for 53 years. So I mean, this is an awesome tradition. You know, and when you had told me I'm going to my family, I was like, oh, maybe mom, dad, you know.
Oh no,
cousin. No. And then I saw, I was like, wait, what's going on here? Like, it was a whole crazy. That was super cool. So yeah, I've always appreciated that you have a good balance on family. And right now, most people are not putting their professional career ahead of their personal, and I think you are taking those steps of putting your professional, you know, really important, and dedicating yourself to your craft. So I really respect that.
Thank you, man. Likewise, I appreciate it. And for anybody that's watching this, that's something they're struggling with, choosing to, you know, have their family over their professional career, you know, family, friends, or whatever is getting in the way of them making more money or doing what they got to do professionally. I'm doing it because I know what I want, and like we just talked about, that $50,000 a month I want, and where I want to get to professionally, that would make it to where I'm able to help my family that much more. So I got to currently sacrifice doing that right now. Still obviously have balance, right? But I have to, you know, put my professional over the family right now. So in 20 years, I'm able to show up the absolute best for my family.
That's awesome. I love Vegas. Have you done this? Have you done the
I've actually
Vegas
never
tour?
been at that sign before.
We're at the original Las Vegas sign.
That's
and there's
crazy.
A line of maybe 100 people right now, and it's a Monday night.
Parking lot jumping.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it's bumping right there. So we'll do a series of, we're coming in towards the last like 5 minutes, series of like kind of fast questions, see what see what you think.
Let's do it.
And this is more for me to find out about you, like just in the personal. So favorite sport?
Basketball. To play or to watch?
To play.
Football.
Got it. Oh, and to watch it, I'm guessing now it's basketball?
Yeah.
Okay, favorite athlete?
LeBron James.
Oh, you're LeBron James? Okay, I'm not gonna interrupt.
Greatest player ever.
I'll say something too after that because I think you appreciate it. I met him. I had LeBron James on my right and Patrick Mahomes on my left.
Oh wow, that's
and
late.
With we'll get out to that story
Okay,
with like
right.
a little tequila shots on there, and I passed on it, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah, you tripping.
I'll tell you the story off camera. All right. Right now, I got so distracted with the stuff. Favorite brand of clothing?
Right now, Undefeated or Stussy. Actually, I'm lying. Billionaire Boys Club.
Oh, okay.
It rotates between those four: Billionaire Boys Club, Bape, Stussy, Undefeated.
What about favorite movie?
Paid in Full.
Oh wow, okay. I see. I'm trying to get a gauge more of you. I think I know about your music, but favorite artist?
All time.
Yeah, that you listen to.
Wiz Khalifa.
Oh, I was gonna say someone else. Okay, that's good too.
I do surprise a lot of people with the music selection, though. I will say, because I listen to a wide variety. And normally people say that, but I legit listen to house music. I still listen to like screamo rock music. I still listen to jazz music. Like I go to jazz concerts. Like I grew up going to jazz concerts. Shoot, alternative, even country. I like country as well.
I'm going to my first country concert this Thursday.
Who are you gonna go see?
I don't know.
Oh.
Morgan
Wallen.
Yeah.
Yo, see.
Dude, and I asked like, oh, is she any good? And my friends are like, you're hopeless.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. All right,
They're $400 a ticket. I bought two.
Oh yeah, he's like that.
I know it's a he now. I was like, is she any good? And my girl was like, you're beyond repair.
Go home and play 7 Summers by Morgan Wallen.
So it's okay. So you do like some country, so at least you know that you know the artist.
Oh yeah.
Favorite type of food?
Steak.
Okay, we're passing Fleming, so that's a great place too.
Me and my dad's like go-to spot.
I love it. If you could live in any city, where would it be?
Any city in the world. Let's say Malibu.
Oh wow, okay. SoCal. Going back to SoCal. I mean, you can't blame it. It's a beautiful place.
Really, any beach city will do. I just said Malibu because it's California beach, close to Los Angeles. Anything in Orange County would work too. Like
biggest fear?
Oh, biggest fear, the ocean. Or
biggest regret?
Oh, biggest regrets? Not taking chances earlier in life.
Favorite accomplishment?
Favorite accomplishment? Favorite accomplishment would be, believe it or not, successfully moving out here to Las Vegas. Because it told me I could. Because I had a lot of doubt on like who I was, especially after that first month. I was like, dang, like I just did this all off of popularity from back home. Can I even do this out here? So
that is a big deal, man. When you face yourself. Did you ever watch the movie Neverending Story?
No.
The whole thing, there's a part about like the biggest thread about the whole movie or whatever is that you have to, the guy finds himself in the mirror and has to go through a maze, and the end of the maze is the mirror, and it's like that's your biggest enemy. It's like the person in the mirror.
That's good. No, that's good.
And there's a lot more to the movie. The movie's fantastic, but it was made into a book and a whole series of different things. Got it. Well, brother, I really respect that everything that you've accomplished, that you're going through. You were honest right now on a lot of people do have that imposter syndrome, but then they don't want to talk about it. But the reality is that we all go through this stuff. We all are learning. Nobody grows up, being a successful business person. They learn it from somebody, and most of the time they learn it from themselves by failing.
failure is it's a beautiful thing.
It is a progressive. Okay. Oh, favorite fast food.
All time,
Yeah.
In-N-Out or Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I just saw mine too. So, oof.
Hold on real quick. I kind of want to just real quick touch point on anybody that watches this that's struggling with that imposter syndrome or whatever it is. Two things two huge quotes that I carry with me every single day is the be, do, have principle. You have to be, in order to be something, you have to do what they do to have what they have. So if you want to be let's say a barber, you have to do what barbers do in order to have what barbers have. If you want to start a media group, you need to do what people like Chava do in order to have what he has, so on and so forth. Last quote is, it's okay to have limiting beliefs, just don't fight to keep them, because I did that for a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't find a better way to end this podcast than that, my friend. And this is why I appreciate you, man. Your knowledge,
Likewise,
your
brother.
friendship, your
Likewise.
talent. And yeah, this was another
Fantastic
fun,
episode.
awesome. It's always good to see you, brother. And Zay,
My dog.
appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so
already
much.
know. Likewise.
Alrighty.